Alrighty, y'all know today is Hump Day with Terry Hay, and we're taking our skills to Kentucky today for Keeneland. A little bit of a confusion earlier in the day for me. Apparently, some of the data all over the place is still kind of mixed up, Terry, from that DRF Equibase. I guess what was it, server disaster or something that they had?
Yeah, they did. They had a terrible disaster, and it's still not cleared up. So
Yeah, and it's confusing on a lot of ends because it's screwing up data every which way you look. Fortunately for you and I, for what we do, we use Brisnet, and they've been on. They've not been wrong. At least I hope not. But I think they were wrong based upon some of our picks. Yeah, we'll blame the data, Terry, if things don't go right. What do you think?
oh yeah, you can do that. Actually, yesterday I almost had a perfect day if my pick of the day would have won that race. It ran second instead. But I had all three pick fours, but of course they didn't pay a lot. But overall, if you
I
bet,
think the first one paid $11. I mean,
yeah, the
beautiful.
second one was 17. I think the third one was like 80 or something. But if you'd played my bets, you would have made a little bit of money for yesterday. So I didn't check yours. How did yours do? Did they do all right?
I don't know. I'm kind of busy trying to deal with problems. I know I hit that $11 one. Had some other picks in there that did okay, but it was a pretty chalky day, and it would have
It
been,
was.
yeah. I mean, kind of one of those days where breaking even's probably about, or a little bit of a profit's probably the best you can do because 3 to 5s, 1 to 5s winning. It happens from day to day, right? You got to
It
pick your
does.
spots. So, well, picking a spot today for a free track, we picked that one yesterday for Tafum and all of our friends in Turkey today. We listen, right? So in Turkey, we went with Indiana Grand or Horseshoe Indianapolis as our free track. It's wet fast. So you can go about playing your Iowa, Indiana, or Kentucky. Come on, Richie. Horseshoe Indianapolis picks. They're right there for you, Tafum. The link is in the description below here on the YouTube channel as well as our Twitter feed. If you haven't done so already, please comment, please subscribe, play along with the show, so to speak. And then when the show is over, we'll put all of our picks over here on horseracingtoday.net, along with our thoughts and a replay of the show. Also, when the show is over, we'll timestamp all the races today in the description on YouTube, so you can come back and watch them at your leisure. And then finally, at HRT Gear, hit that button, get yourself some horse racing today paraphernalia, if you will, or merch as they call it, or drip nowadays. Get that horse racing today hat. You can customize it to your favorite colors. We've decided we like the white one a lot around here, so go ahead and get yourself that white one. Dirty it up so you need another, so you can support us every couple of months. All right, Terry, the reason we hope that you'll support us is because we hope to make good picks. Our first race today in Kentucky is the first one, the opener.
That's right. It's a 6 furlongs, and it's a claiming race. $20,000 claiming price. Purse $50,000. It's for 3-year-olds and upwards, which have never won 3 races, or 3-year-olds.
And 6 furlong profile of a winner favors early speed. 35% of the horses that win the race to the quarter-mile marker also win the race to the finish line. There's a rail bonus for Hop and John 2 through 7. Man, they're penalized. 8 and out is the best. That's a theme we're going to see through these sprint races, that barbell, either inside or outside, have speed. That's useful too. We do 1,000 simulations. We want to know which horses have the best chance to have the lead at the quarter-mile marker. Again, remember, win that race. Good chance to win the overall race. Based upon our projected paces, which horses are going to get a race that mirrors their best performances. A score over 50 is preferred. Any of those horses that score a Q30 of 30 or more, those guys have a great chance to go wire to wire. According to James Quinn, in his book, The Complete Handicapper, you can bet those blindly for a positive ROI. Par Plus, we measure in our 1,000 simulations how many times a horse runs a speed figure of 85 or better. That's the par speed figure according to Brisnet for this conditions. And then finally, we want value. We want our horses' odds to be lower than higher, at post time than our simulation odds. Terry, buying a horse that's on sale. Which horse are you going to buy if you want to win the race to the quarter-mile marker?
Well, I'll tell you, this is all of them show some speed, although the 6 and the 3 show the most speed. But I really think it's kind of an anyone's guess who gets that quarter pole purse. And the one has an overlay of 7-2 to 6-1. The 5's overlay is from 3-1 to 6-1. 7's overlay is 5-1 to 20-1. All of them show par plus numbers and all show comfort zones. And the 6 has a 30% Q30.
Yeah, 6 right now. I mean, it's got the strongest par plus score. It's got the strongest chance to be on the lead, second best C zone, top Q30, double the next closest one. Only a little bit of an overlay there. Maybe not worth the 3 to 5 odds that the horse is currently priced at. Looking at the race shape, because there are people who do pace handicapping, pretty balanced race. A couple horses here, unlike the others, the 4 and the 3, but everybody should be position-wise where they want to be. Good Like Magic. That one's going to be on the lead, about 3/4 of a length quicker than the 4. So Supremely might find himself in a spot that's uncomfortable, but still enough pace if it wants to, can keep the 6 honest. Late Speed belongs to Hoppin' John, the closer. That one should be coming pretty aggressively along with Pico d'Oro. A little bit of a drop-off from some of the others in here. And then finally, your top total pace horse, Good Like Magic, 10 points clear of Pico d'Oro. That 10 points equals usually 2 lengths. Every 5 points equals 1 length, Terry. That's 6 horse. The bettors at 3 to 5 think he's going to win. We both have him as our top pick to win.
Yeah, Good Like Magic looks pretty like it's going to win. And ran second versus Tougher in his last race as a favorite, but has a high percentage winning trainer who wins 32% of the races when bringing and beating favorite back to race again. Drops in class today, switches to high percentage winning jockey. Stingy is the number 5, my second choice, finishing the money 3 out of the last 4 races, winning one of those starts and has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. And then Hunter Town, he is the 3 horse. He ran second in the last 2 starts, has a high percentage winning jockey. My long shot is Hoppin' John, the 1. He ran second in his last start, the rail post winning 18% clip, and he can improve while returning to a sprint, and he has a highest speed figure at today's distance. We get a $100 budget each day in addition to the pick 4s, and I'm going to use my first $14. I like doing this when there's a hard favorite. I'm going to do a $1 exacta key box, 6 with all.
I'm going to put the 6 on top. That one has that top total pace, 10 points better than everybody else. My concern for this one, though, is he's run at like Belterra Park. He's run at secondary tracks, and this is the first time against Tier 1 types. Arthur, the 8 horse, all of its race internals were better across the board last out. I'm going to catch a little bit of a weight break today. Stingy, indeed stingy. Should be, don't be stingy. Go get yourself a horse racing today hat, folks. Should be better in the second up, and is a very consistent performer as well. And then Pico d'Oro, better on dirt than turf. Last 2 or 3, I think last 3 were on turf. Going to come back to its preferred surface, although I think the all-weather might actually be its preferred surface. That's the way I see the opener. We're just about a minute or so, a couple seconds away from actually seeing the opener run. Unfortunately, we cannot broadcast them. I wish we could, but I'll tell you what I see while it's happening. I do see that the 6 horse has moved down to a 1 to 2 favorite. Heavy favorite there. You got to bet $1 to make 50 cents. It's not really a bet in horse racing I prefer, but people for some reason love it in baseball or football or another sport like that. They're all off and running right now, and you have a bunch of them trying to get to the lead right now. You got the 3, the 4, the 5, the 6, the 7, only the 1 and the 2 kind of sitting off the pace right now. So they could be a little heated up front there, Terry. Yep. Which might make for a closer to come in. You have all right, who's doing what over here? So it looks like right now the 6 horse is, and the 8 horse have come out to the lead as they go through the turn. The 6 probably getting a little better of it because he's to the inside. You have another horse, the 4 horse. That one's bounding up there supremely. He wants to get involved in the mix. The 8 has stuck his nose out in front of the 6 as they go through the turn. So I think it's going to be kind of tough to run too wide all the way around the track. Although it does look like the jockey on the 6 horse is asking for more than the jockey on the 8 horse at the moment. So the 8 horse has taken over the race right now. Looks like he's going to have a little bit of problems with that 4 horse. Yeah, the 4 horse is going to definitely get up into that mix right there. The 8 horse is trying to come out and hurt him. Doesn't really have a chance to do that. And it's going to go 4 and then 8 and then 1, 4, 8, and 1. So Supremely.
Wow.
That one, interestingly, Terry,
Yeah.
about Supremely, and our great friend Christopher D'Souza is the biggest advocate of C-Zone that I think there is on the planet.
Yeah.
But if you look at Supremely, 89% chance that this race was going to match far and away better than anybody else in the field. Let's look over here. He was at the bottom of the pack down here. Did show some early speed. We did see that. He ran third. The closing ability was a little bit off. And let's take a look over here at the 4-horse. Irad Ortiz switching to Irad. That might be a tip-off, as well as one of the horses in here that has actually hit par. Kind of tough to back him off of a 20 length, 20 length behind the winner finish last time out. And that's why he went off at 12 to 1. All right, Terry, but hell, if you had that 4, 8, and 1 trifecta, you can go away for the rest of the day.
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
Race 2. All right, this one's going to start the early pick 4. Tell us about the conditions here, Terry.
Mile and 16th. It's a maiden claiming race, $55,000 claiming price, and the purse. $50,000, and the purse is $55,000 for maidens 2-year-olds.
Oof, the babies. Well, the babies, if they want to get that first W at a mile and a 16th, early speed will get the trick done. A touch more than 1 out of 4 winning gate to wire. The rail is the best, so G. Eric could get a little bit of a boost from that spot. 2 through 7, a penalty, 8 and out. There is a bonus. There's that barbell effect again, Terry. A lot of these horses, second, third start, not a lot of data in the background to work with. But for what we do have, Terry, who do you think? Who does the data say should get the lead here?
Okay, the 4 shows the most speed, as you can see, although all the horses but the 8 have some kind of speed. And then the 3 and the 5 come in second and third to the 4. The 1 has an overlay 4 to 1 to 9 to 2. The 2 has an overlay from about 8.5 to 1 to 20 to 1. The 4 has an overlay from 8.5 2 to 1. 5 has an overlay from about 7.5 to 1 to 12 to 1, and the 8 has an overlay from 9 to 1 to 10 to 1. The 4, 1, 5, 2, and 8 have par plus numbers, and all but the 8 have C zones. I'm sorry, all but the 2 have a C zone, and the 4 has a pretty nice Q30.
Yeah, 4 looking a lot much like that 6 in that last race, right? The top Q30 score in there, big chance to be on the lead. Strongest par plus, a little bit of an overlay in this case, whereas the last one, it went off at 17 to 1, right? Because we saw that and it ran like a 17 to 1 horse. Our pace here, look at this, Terry. All these horses not within 5 lengths of the winner in their races so far. Wow. Only the 4 has been sniffing the door. 4 should get the lead here, deeply hidden, about a length quicker than Lumber Legacy. Great day for hockey. Well, a lot of folks celebrating the opening of hockey right now. Late speed in there, you got Eric, Morale, and deeply hidden. Really not a big difference between the 6, only the 1 with a length difference than everybody else, but could be at the back of the pack well more than a length off of deeply hidden. So deeply hidden in here, Terry, this one is a 8-point total pace favorite, but unlike the 6 in the previous start, if I remember correctly, the 4 has been facing the same types that he'll get at a tier 1 track. Who do you think is going to win this one?
All right, I like the 4 deeply hidden. Run twice, second twice in his 4 careers starts, and drops in class today. Has a high percentage winning trainer with 28% of the races when taking a horse from a maiden to a maiden claiming race. His best start speed is fast among today's starters, and blinkers are added today. Then I like 3, Great Day for Hockey. He drops in class today. He has a high percentage winning jockey and a good 4 furlong workout on October 7th. Then I like the 1, G. Eric. He has a high percentage winning jockey. The rail post is winning at a 20% clip. Drops in class today. Blinkers are added today, and a good workout on October 4th. And then the 6 is my long shot. He drops in class today. May improve while trying dirt. He has a high percentage winning trainer who wins 20% of the races when taking a horse from maiden to a maiden claiming race. And he has a bullet workout on October 9th. My first Don Johnson Miami Vice pick 4. I'm going to use the 1-3-4 with the 4-6-12 with the 1-2-4 with the 3-6-7 $40.50 ticket.
So for race number 2, Private Ross, 99. He likes the 6 and the 7. Zion joining us today. Delaware Park, race number 2. Take the 1 to win. If like Zion, or Zane, excuse me, and Private Ross, you have any ideas about horses that are going to win anywhere in the world today, we're all open to trying to make a few bucks on a pony anywhere on the planet. There's some stock that you like, cryptocurrency that you like. Everybody likes to make money. That's why we're here. We just try to do it in horse racing. You have some suggestions for the show, something you'd like to see us do, let us know. We'll do our best to accommodate. I like the 4-horse here, Deeply Hidden. That one's my top selection too, Terry. It's the closest to getting to par for this level in the race. None of them so far have really gotten there. I know we have the par plus scores. It's the math that I do. Morally, the 6-horse is our second choice here. This one's raced 3 times, both of the races after its debut. It's gotten better. Last time out, cleared the hurdle of a top last race speed figure, 3 points better than the next closest horse. So the rest of them got to come up to catch him. And if he continues to improve, they may not. 3, Great Day for Hockey. Maiden special weight dropper with a pair of his best workouts between races prior to the drop. And then finally, G. Eric is another maiden special weight dropper in there, Terry, and does have its best published workout between the first race after layoff and the second race after layoff today. I'm going to use all 4 of mine in my pick 4, 1, 3, 4, 6 with the 4, 9, 12, 2, 5, 6, 7. And then I'm going to close it out on the back end with the 6 and the 7. Race number 3, Terry, that's what we're going to do next. Take it away.
Okay, 6 furlongs, claiming race, $20,000 claiming price, his purse $49,000. Fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upward, which have never won 2 races.
Again, 6 furlongs. You're looking for fast ones when the gates open, 35%. They lead and never see the backside of another horse, straight into the winner's circle. There's a rail bonus for Devil of Paradis. 2 through 7, a penalty. 8 and out. That is the best place to be. So inside or outside speed in race number 3. Terry, what do you see?
Well, the 4 shows the most speed, followed up by the 9 and the 11. But I think the 4 should get there if gets a good break. And then the 2 has an overlay from almost 9 to 1 to 15 to 1. The 8 has an overlay from 8.5 to 1 to 20 to 1. The 11's overlay is 6 to 1 to 20 to 1. And the 12 is from about 6 to 5 to 4 to 1. They all show par plus numbers and all show C zones.
Yeah, look at these morning line odds. The lowest one is 4 to 1, just like you, the 12 horse, which tells you that the morning line maker has no idea who's going to win this race. I think some of the data kind of paints a very similar type picture. But if you're going to back the one that gets to the front speed, then that 4 horse looks like the play right there. Let's see what the pace tells us about this race. Ooh, a lot of early speed, middle forward, Terry. That should favor somebody that has a little bit of late energy. Let's see if anybody's got the speed of the speed angle there. Well, 3 pokes, the 4 horse, as we saw in our simulation. That one's got a 5-point advantage over all the other horses would giddy up and go when the gates open, and all of the other speeds to its outside. So the 4 horse should, when the gates open, be the one that sets the tone early on. Maybe it can get away with some easy fractions. I mentioned late speed, probably going to be where the action is. I got a lot of them in here with very similar type numbers, although you got a few up here with a little bit of an edge. At the end of the race, just like you, is the top total pace in here. The top 4 generally produce 70% of the winners come out of that grouping right there. Terry, share with us your grouping.
Well, I like the 12 just like you. She ran second in her last race. She has the highest last speed rating. She has the highest speed figure at today's distance, and her best start speed is fast among today's starters. All those boxes are marked off. Number 4, 3 pokes, second choice, drops in class today, has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey, and a good workout, 4 furlongs on October 6th. And then number 6, Lil Temptation is my third choice, won her last race, has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. I like the 1 as my long shot, Devil of Paradise. She won her last race and has a bullet workout on October 5th. I'm going to bet a $1 exacta box, the 4, 6, 10, 12.
$1 exacta box?
Yeah, I'm sorry. 1, 6, 10, 12.
1, 6, 10. What
No,
about
no,
the
no.
4?
1, 4, 6, 12.
All right, you're confusing me. It's just not hard to do. It's not a long trip for me. All right,
Yeah.
I'm going to start with 3 pokes, the 4-horse pace setter. I think it could. It's the speed of the speed. I think it could steal an easy lead. And the only time this horse traveled across the Keeneland track, it won pretty easily on the front. So let's see if it can repeat that maiden W. And then next up for me is the 12. Just like you, it is your top last race speed figure horse and likely to take that number higher in the second start after a layoff. Sister Ella, the 9 horse, going to drop in class today. It's useful. Usually comes from off the pace. When you drop in class, usually you kind of move up a little bit when the gates open. You get a little bit better start when you're running against slower horses. Another thing that hints at a better start for the 9-horse Sister Ella is when they put a nice 3-furlong workout right before this race. That tells me connections are going to try to get this one out and use those late legs, but get better position early on. And then Little Temptation, the 6-horse, is next up for me. This one, much like the 6-horse that we saw in the opener, it is a track and class riser. She can carry her form, maybe like the 6 in the opener, finishes 4th. It was a tough call between that and the 2, to be honest, for me. No bets for me here. Race 4, Mr. Terry, take it away.
Okay, we're going to go to 6.5 furlongs. It's a claiming race, $40,000 claiming price, a purse $58,000 for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upward, which have never won 2 races.
6.5 furlong, profile of a winner. Early speed in the 5 races has done really well, none of which have been from the rail. So up on the edge could maybe break that curse. 2 and 3, they've been the best performing so far. 4 through 7, they've been discounted. 8 and out has proven to be fair, but only a handful of races. So track bias, I would say really kind of focus on the other 6 furlong or 7. You do see the inside and outside speed being the way to the winner's circle. So in the 4th race, Terry, do we have any inside or outside speed?
Not really. They all show speed, as you can see, and a lot of them are pretty close to each other. So another one of those anyone guesses races, I think. So anyway, the 5 has an overlay from 9 to 1 to 12 to 1, and the 7 has an overlay from 3 to 1 to 15 to 1. All but the 2 and 3 have par plus numbers, and all show C zones, and the 2 has a Q30%.
Yeah, so you got a lot of numbers just all over the place in here. Or just about looks like any horse you can make a case off the simulations. Just looking at it, I would say maybe the 4-horse, the big Calhouna, one I don't have, the one that's a top of your pick. That one seems to have the most boxes checked. Looking at our race shape in here, 2 and 4 want to be forward. All right, well, we talked about those 2 horses over there. Everybody else middle back. I would suspect that the 2 and 4, if they can get off to a good start, would have a good chance. Crickle is the quickest of those 2, the 3-horse right there. 4-horse should be a part of the early mix as well. When the race is winding down, Despo's Dream, that one has a 10-point late pace advantage over everybody. That's about a 2 length, and really won't be 2 lengths off the lead here, maybe a length and a quarter. So if that 6-horse comes around that corner at the end of the race and it's close to the front runners, probably runs right by everybody. Ran right by everybody in our top total pace. 9 points clear of Scrupulous. That's usually enough to include that horse in your exactas and your trifectas to wheel around it. Terry, did you get the 6 in your picks? You did.
I did, yes, but I start out with the 4, the big Kahuna. She ran second in her last race at Churchill Downs, and she has a high percentage winning jockey. Then I like the 2 as my second choice, drops in class today. She has a high percentage winning trainer who wins 21% of the claiming races. He has a horse competing in. Number 1, Up on the Edge, is my third choice, finished in the money in 2 of the last 3 races, and she has a high percentage winning jockey. That 6, as you talked about, Despo's Dream, is my long shot. She won her last race, and she has a high percentage winning jockey. No additional bets here for me.
Yeah, I think this race is pretty open, so I'm going to go with a long shot in here. Sassy Walker. Long shot. One thing about this horse is it can pop a lot or drop a lot in the second start after a layoff. I'm hoping that maintenance workout points to a pop a lot. Number 2, Crickle, should be marginally better in the third start after a layoff. And last time out, one of those hints that a horse is coming to form, showed much better late speed. So we'll see if we can carry that one over to today. Despo's Dream, we saw that one as our top total pace horse by 9. Popped a big race in his last, and usually a big race is followed by another pretty solid effort. And then another long shot for me, Scrupulous. That one happens to be the simulation odd favorite. We've seen a lot of those long shot sim favorites actually come home in the money, and many of them win. That one can run back just 2 races to win at 1 at Churchill Downs. She's a threat to win at a hopefully nice price. This might be a good race to go about doing some exact or trifecta boxes, because I think you can get some good odds in this one. Private Ross, Keeneland race 4, he likes the 6 and the 7, seems to be on the 6 and 7 today. Hi, Two Kings. How are you? We appreciate the compliments. Probably some translation in there, but I'll go with King. Race number 5, Terry, is the much, much, much dreaded Race of Death, connecting the very end of the early pick 4 and beginning the very late pick 4. What are they running for in the Race of Death?
We're going to shorten up to 5.5 furlongs, then we're going to do the first turf race. It's an allowance race, $110,000 purse, and it's for 3 fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upward, which have never won a race other than a maiden claimant starter, or which have never won 2 races.
Yeah, right now, the turf is listed as good, but it's nice and sunny there. You can see the sky in the background, scattered clouds, not many. So I would expect there could be a chance that you'll see the turf upgraded before the day is over. This short sprint, that 5.5 furlong run across the Kentucky Bluegrass, does favor horses. Surprisingly, that's stalk. You'd think to get to the wind front, you'd have a great chance, but you get in that middle of the pack, let somebody else do the heavy lifting early on, you got a great chance to win. Although 14%, that's about a fair number, go wire to wire. The inside 3, boy, they've had it rough, Terry. 4 through 7 has been by far the best place to take off. And then finally, 8 and out, a little bit of a discount. Not a deal killer out there, but if you find something you really like in 4, 5, 6, or 7, maybe you should back that, Terry. In the 5th race, who are you backing if you could bet the horse that win the early race?
Well, as you can see, a lot of them or most of them have speed, but that 8 and 10 have the most speed. They could go head-to-head to quarter pole if they get good breaks. And then the 1 has an overlay from almost 12 to 1 to 20 to 1. 2's overlay is 6 to 1 to 15 to 1. 8 has an overlay from 4 to 1 to 30 to 1. 9 has an overlay from 8.5 to 1 to 20 to 1. And the 10 has an overlay from 10 to 1 to 30 to 1. And all of them show par plus numbers. They all show C zones.
So a real strong par plus number in here, 52% for Moonspun. Again, if you're new, that means when we did our simulations that 52% of the time it ran the output produced a speed figure of at least 86. That's a pretty aggressive number in there. For the 5th race, pretty balanced in here, though most want to be middle back. That should give people the edge that are forward, finding the early pace in there in the early position to save ground, perhaps. Look at all this tempo in here, Terry, to get started. So maybe a lot more tempo than people think. The 1 horse actually is what we call a left arrow horse, as is the 6. These are closers with enough early speed, as is the 3. So the 8, 11, and 12, they might be in a difficult spot to get out to the front, which can make their trip a lot more difficult than they'd like for it to be. Moonspun also has the most late speed. You can't pass what you can't catch, Terry. That one might just sit right off the pace and then go about bursting to the finish line. Does have a 9-point total pace advantage over Penny Smile, Arch Street. Look at all these horses bunched up right behind that one, Terry. Moonspun, and then everybody else. So if Moonspun doesn't win this one, Terry, it's up for grabs. We both think the 6 will get the job done.
Yeah, I think Moonspun's going to win it. She finished in the money in 5 career races, winning 1 of the starts. Drops in class today, has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. Penny Smile 7 is second choice. She won her last race. She has a good 4 furlong workout on October 9th. 3 Arch Street. She finished second in her last race. Her breeding suggests she'll like the grass. Frankie Dettori is in the irons, and she has a high percentage winning trainer, wins 20% of the sprint races he has a horse competing in. Then my long shot is 2, May Strong. She won her last race, and she has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. I'm going to play the second and last pick 4. Miami Vice, Don Johnson, 3, 6, 7 with the 9, 10 with the 3, 5, 11, 12 with the 2, 3, 10, 12. I believe that's a $48 ticket.
Yeah, we hardly match at all in the back. So what does that tell you about the late pick 4? So you say, fine, thank you. But today, Horseshoe Indianapolis, we didn't pay him, Shalon didn't, Jay, but thank you for the segue nonetheless. It is our free track today over at Guaranteed Tip Sheet. There's a link in the description below. Kind of use that so they know where you're coming from. You get all of the Horseshoe Indianapolis picks from top to bottom over there today. So take a look at that. If you're in Turkey and you're playing that late pick six, we hope that you hit it. You hit it big, and then when Terry and I come over there, we're actually treated like kings. I think that would be a fair exchange. Terry, what about you?
Yeah, I think it's great.
So in the fifth race, I'm going to go with the 6-horse Moonspun. Really a little bit of racing of luck away from being undefeated in 5 with that top total pace score. I hope, like the odds are on that one, to get anywhere remotely close to 4-1. I'll take 7-2, hands down. Penny Smile, the 7-horse. You and I agree on the opening 2 in there. Faster Fractions in its last race. That was despite going a little bit longer. So if you run longer and you run faster, that's doubly fast. And since then, 7-horse has a lot of nice workouts. So that horse seems to be in form at the moment. Beets, I hate them. Terry, do you like eating beets?
I do, in my salads.
Bah, they're disgusting. Anyway, this one is stepping up the ladder in terms of its speed numbers. And another that showed signs of life last out with Faster Fractions despite going longer. I like that combination. And then finally, Harbor Springs. Switching to IRAD. Boy, we saw that switch to IRAD in that opening race with that 4-horse taking home the prize. So maybe we can see that again with Harbor Springs right here. And this is the classic third start after layoff. I'm going to go with the 6-7. Cross my fingers in this deep field. One of those two hits the finish line first. 5, 6, 7, 12. Well, I don't have the 9 or 10. You don't have the 5, 6, or 7, 12. So one of us will be done by race 2. 3, 5, 11, 12 for you. I have 1, 3, 5, and 10. So some overlap there. 5, 6, and 11 on the last leg for me. You don't have any of those in there. So who the hell knows what's going to happen in the last 3 races, Terry? Could be anything goes. All right. We got a bit of time before we get off to the next race number 2. So, well, there's a lot of uncertainty from race 6 through 8 in this 8-race card today at Keeneland. Let's start it off and find out, why we disagree on just about everything in the last 3.
All right. Well, they're going to go to 1 1/8. It's an allowance race, first $110,000. It's for 3-year-olds and upward, which have never won a race other than a maiden claiming starter, state bred, or state bred allowance, or which have never won 2 races.
Mm-hmm. Keeneland, I think you're going to go with the 6 and 7. All right, the 5. You threw the 5 in there for race number 6. All right. Well, thank you for that, Private Ross. 1 1/8. This will be the second time we see 1 1/8. 7 races. So far. Actually, it'll be the first of 2. They've had 7 races. Stalkers have done great, although 2 out of those 7 went wire to wire. So that's a pretty good number, a little over 25%. The rail has proven to be a fair spot for Bright Leaf. 2 through 7, boy, they get the best place to be by far is 8 and out, Terry, at least in the 7 races so far. So if we have any Buffalo girls on the outside in race number 6 with some speed, they got a shot, and maybe one of them fits that bill.
Well, all but the 2 show some kind of speed, but the 7, 5, and 1 show the most speed. They could maybe go head-to-head to that quarter pole. Depends on who gets out good in that break. The 1 has an overlay from 4-1 to 6-1, and the 5 has an overlay from about 7-5 to 8-1. And then 5, 1, 2, 8, and 3 all have par plus numbers, and they all show C zones.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and this race is pretty wide open. Another one where 4-1 is the morning line favorite. Boy, you really got to try to find hints wherever you can. Look at this 5-horse over here. Generous Tipper. Loney. Everybody else kind of middle back. If you get out to the front here, you got a good crack at going wire to wire. As I mentioned, 2 out of 7, although stalkers do pretty well. Think Big, another one of those left arrow horses, the 10-horse, the Oro Unbridled. There's that Generous Tipper. If that one can pop out to the lead, its confidence will likely grow. Lips Say Bliss. Yes, indeed. Up in the front there. At the end of the race, Think Big. Look at that 3-horse with that early pace. Also has some late speed. Bright Leaf, another one with some late speed. Generous Tipper in there again, Terry. Looks like we're going to have 4 of them. The 3, the 5, the 1, and the 10. That 7 points clear of the next closest horse. Again, 70% of the winners come out of that group right there, but your winner is not in that group, Terry. It's also one of your best bets of the day. Why are all those numbers wrong?
Yeah, as you said, it is my best bet of the day, and you don't even choose it. Well, anyway, the 9, Lips Say Bliss, finishing the money in 6 races out of 7 career races. So he's very competitive. Won 3 of those starts and has a high percentage winning jockey. And then the 10 Dioro Unbridled, second choice, won his last race, and he has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. 8 Yellowbrook finished third versus similar in his last start. His best start speed is fast among today's starters. Got a high percentage winning jockey and trainer, my third choice. And then my long shot is the 5 Generous Tipper. He finished in the money in 3 out of 5 career races, won 1 of the starts, and he has a high percentage winning jockey. I'm going to bet 16 to win and 26 to place on number 9. I'm going to bet a $5 daily double, the 9 with the 3, 5, 11, and 12.
Well, I hope you get some good odds on that one.
Yeah, I'm hoping.
I have the 10 horse Dioro Unbridled. In this race where there's a lot of uncertainty, this one has been probably the most consistent performer in the pack and consistently better in the second start after a layoff. Number 5, Generous Tipper. Boy, that one by far is our simulation odd favorites right there. Finished third in the Breeders' Cup, so you know it's faced some pretty good company. That was at Keeneland. So going to face a little bit lighter company today than he saw at the Breeders' Cup for sure. Last time out, you can kind of discount that trip a little bit because it was forced wide all the way around the track. The move to the inside with that early speed on the lone eat today, difference maker, folks. Number 3, Think Big. Always a pretty good idea for Think Big, properly priced, as you see right there. You got Irad on a horse that has some very strong late speed. Today, that horse is going to go much longer than it has. So I think you're going to see Irad use that late speed to its advantage. And then finally, number 1, Bright Leaf was a tough call for me over your 9 Lips Say Bliss right there. Terry, this is a West Coast invader. Surprised he's not in your picks, to be honest with you. Run very well off the bench. Does have the most back class, but that number was out there. Those numbers are from California, where they tend to be a little bit inflated relative to the rest of the country. But my research in trying to compare horses for the Kentucky Derby, because they come from all over the country, says that Santa Anita and Del Mar are 2 tracks that translate pretty well to Churchill Downs. And I think you might see some of that form translate here as well. What do we got for race number 2? 4 minutes. All right. So we can do race number 7 to get started with the late double, Terry. You get it started with the ongoings.
Okay, it's stretching out to 1.5 miles, and it's on the turf. Second race on the turf today. Allowance race, $120,000 purse for 3-year-olds and upwards, which have never won $18,000 twice, other than maiden, claiming, starter, or state bred allowance, or which have never won 3 races.
Yeah, you mentioned that it's the second turf race. They haven't run any at 1.5 miles. So this distance, we don't have any profile of the winner data. What you typically know from these long races is that they come off to a slow start and then they work their way around. This is a 3-turn race where that turn comes pretty early in there. So that early position is going to be probably pretty key. So I would suspect if you can get to the front pretty quickly, you might have a chance to do well, especially if you're on the inside. That's just a guess, Terry. It looks like one of them on the inside does have a lot of early speed.
Yeah, that 2 shows a lot of speed, followed up by the 11. And then the 10 has an overlay from 2.5 to 1 to 6 to 1. The 11 has an overlay from 2.5 to 1 to 9 to 2. And all of them show par plus and all show C zones.
Keeneland race 7, number 9, 10, and 12. No 6 and 7. So the cryptic codes have come to an early end there. All right, our race shape for the 7th. Most of these horses middle back, a lot of closers in here, Terry. So speed could, again, be a way to get to the front, especially in these long races. I've seen a lot of horses get out to leads by themselves, and when they do, other horses at times have a difficult time chasing them down. But pretty balanced at the beginning of the race. A lot of that speed to the inside. So Fortune Seller on that inside, as we saw in our simulations, that's probably the one they're all going to have to catch at some point. The late speed belongs to Greystone, Cyber Ninja, Fortune Seller, again, pretty balanced in here too. So you got balance in the front, balance at the end. I'm going to guess we're going to have balance in our top total pace. We do, but these 4 right here, a little bit better than the rest. The 10, the 6, the 11, and the 2. Well, Greystone popping in there as well, Terry. Anybody can win this race. Who do you think will?
I like the 5, 6 minus. He drops in class today, has the highest last speed rating actually tied with another one, likes the distance, and he has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. The 12 Better Bet is my second choice, finishing the money in 4 races out of 6 career races, winning 2 of the starts, and he has a high percentage winning jockey. 11, I'd rather be blessed is my third choice, finished third in his only start, and he has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. Goldeneye, the 3, is my long shot. He won his last race and has and he has a high percentage winning jockey. And I'm going to play a $1 exacta box to finish up my $100 budget. I'm going to box the 3, 5, 11, and 12.
So I'm going to go real fast because this second race is about started. Cyber Ninja, no problem with the distance. Coming down from a high-priced race at at Kentucky Downs. 6- coming out of the same race as the 6. Pretty solid at the distance as well. I'd rather be blessed. Could get out to the front if the fractions are right. Go all the way. And then Mendelin's March can run back 2 races. It's the winner, the 10 horse. Race number 2 is off, and it is running at the moment. The 4 horse, deeply hidden, as our numbers projected, is on the front pretty easily. Not a whole lot of competition. Behind it is Il Marchesi, another we thought would be competitive early on, although it does look like the 5 horse right now, Lumber Legacy, has it's the 7 and the 8 are out there. The 8 consecrated, getting into the mix unexpectedly over there. 4 horse continues to set the tone. Behind the shotgun horses, we have the 5 horse, Lumber Legacy. That one's getting involved, but maybe wanted to be on the lead. Then the 6 horse in a nice stalking position. Opening quarter in 23 and 8, opening half in 48 and 4. So pretty easy lead, I suspect, for the 4 horse as they head into the turn. Still running pretty easily at the moment. You have the 8 horse backing up a little bit. The 7 horse backing up as the 4 creates some separation. The 5 horse right now is the one that's looks like it's got a chance maybe, but I would say probably not because it's backing up. The 3 horse looks like it's going to get involved in the mix right now. The 1 horse is coming pretty aggressively. The 6 horse is all the way in the back of the pack. That one's not offering anything today. The 4 horse is coming, although the 3 horse on the rail has darted to the lead, and he's going to run away with this race. Great day for some hockey. 3 horses your winner for sure. 7 horses your second place runner for sure. The 1 horse is going to be your third place runner for sure. There you go.
All right.
4, 3, 7, and 1. So the 3 horse getting both of our pick 4s started, thankfully. And let's see what the 3 horse went off at. 3 horse went off as your second choice. Actually ended up being your favorite at the end, 5-2. That one ran away from the pack right there. So great day for hockey. Indeed, showed it was a great day for hockey. That 4 horse, another one that got up onto the lead there, Terry. Not the quickest of fractions. He couldn't hang on. So might be a tough day today for your pace setters.
Could be.
Maybe look for those horses with a little bit more late edge that are middle of the pack. Final race of the day for you and me today is race number 8. But before we get off to these maidens, Terry, tomorrow you and I will return. We're going to cover Belmont at the Big A. Friday, Tom and I will cover not Royal Ascot, just Ascot. It's not Royal, except in June. It's just regular Ascot tomorrow on Friday when Tom and I do Foreign Fridays. More than likely, we'll be off Monday, back Tuesday. Some things for Terry to take care of, some things for me to take care of on Monday. We'll let you know. And the best way to not miss our Ascot show, our Belmont show, or whatever we do or don't do on Monday is to do what, Terry?
Yeah, you need to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hit the little bell. Listen, that bell will then automatically notify you whenever we're going to have a program coming up. Go down and copy that link at the bottom there and share it with all your friends and relatives so they can come and check us out. Go to our social sites such as Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, X, Threads at Horse Race, the number 2 day, and give us thumbs up and likes. Really helps us out. And then also keep giving us picks and comments. We really enjoy it.
Any interactivity helps us with the scores that Google or YouTube or Twitter or Facebook they assign. I want to see that you're interested in what we're doing. When the show is over, again, over at horseracingtoday.net, we will post all of our comments along with the replay of the show. And in the description on YouTube, you'll see it says more. Just click on the more. We'll timestamp every race so you can come back and watch the data at your leisure. Again, from what we've seen early on, maybe kind of adjust your picks a little bit towards horses with a little bit more late speed, because we've seen horses that are sitting second, third just run by everybody at the end. 1 mile and an eighth, the profile of a winner here. Terry, before we get to that, tell us what they're running about.
All right. Well, there's one horse here that's got a lot of speed, the two horse.
Did we go over? I don't think we went over the
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I did.
conditions.
Yeah,
maybe
you're
we
right.
Did, maybe we didn't. I don't know.
You're right. I didn't. It's 1 mile and an eighth, and it's a maiden claiming race, $20,000 claiming price, $48,000 purse for maidens 3-year-olds and upward.
So at 1 mile and an eighth, the second time, we'll see it today. But again, pay attention to race number 6 to get a sense of what that bias might look like. So far in the 7 races, it has favored horses like we've seen win today, sitting second, third, fourth in that middle position with some late energy to come home, although 2 out of the 7 did win on the front. Looks like that might be a difficult task today. The rail is fair, 2 through 7. They got roughed up a little bit there, Terry, and by far 8 and out, it's the best place to be. All right, well, early speed might not be the best thing to have, but at least being forwardly placed could be useful. Who are those horses that will be forwardly placed?
Well, the 2 shows a lot of speed, so I think that 2 is going to get out there first. Although most of these horses have some kind of speed, all but the 7. The 1 has an overlay from almost 3-1 to 30-1. 9 has an overlay from 4-1 to 10-1. And the 12 has an overlay from 2-1 to 5-2. 12, 1, and 9 show the only par plus numbers. And all but the 1, 3, 4, and 9 show C zones, especially the 2.
Yeah, that 2 horse maybe breaks the mold today. We've seen this combination, 50% chance to be on the lead with the top C zone. A lot of times those horses get to the lead. They're very comfortable up there, especially at a pace that's going to match their best performances. Let's see what it looks like when we take a look at the trip here. Well, the 2 hasn't finished within 5 lengths of the winner so far, so maybe not. It looks like you better not wear an even number except for the 10 and the 12, because they have not been within 5 lengths. Otherwise, everybody else either wants to be on the front or on the back, so nobody in the middle. Who knows? Early speed looks like, well, the 2 and the 3, they're going to be the fastest out of the box. The 3 being a left arrow horse, Rocket Knight. That's of the front runners, the quickest of them, but way outside. So it's going to have to work probably to get in front of the 2 and the 3. The late speed belonging to Commander's Coin, Active Duty. Those are 10 points clear of everybody else. Those 2 also grade out as your top total pace horses. 7 points clear of the next group in here. But these are maiden claiming 20 types, Terry. A lot can happen. What do you think, Will?
Okay, I like number 12, Active Duty. Ran second versus similar in last race. Drops in class today. Has the highest last speed rating and a high percentage winning jockey. 10, the Rocket Knight. Second choice ran second versus similar in his last race. He has a high percentage winning trainer. Wins 24% of the maiden claiming races that he has a horse entered in. And then 3, Remarkable Mo is my third choice. Has a high percentage winning trainer. Wins 24% of the races when dropping a horse off a claim. Best start speed is fastest among today's starters. Has a high percentage winning jockey. I like the 2, Indy Charge, as my long shot. Drops in class today. May improve while returning to dirt and returning to a route. And has a bullet workout on October 7th. I have no money left, so I can't make any other bets.
So you mentioned something about Indy in there. Speaking of Indy, Private Ross, the best bet of the day, Horseshoe Indianapolis. So, hey, you're over there in Turkey today. The pick 6 in here that you guys have, race 7, he's going to put $20. And that's a big bet for Private Ross. I don't know if it's a big bet or not, but he's going to put 20 to win on number 10, and he's saying hi to Barbie. Actually, that's the name of the horse, I think. I will leave the picks up for you, Don, in just a moment there. I'm going to start off with the 3-horse, Remarkable Mo. That's my top selection here. It's the only horse in the race that's actually hit par for this level, and he's got 2 of them. Nobody else has 1 of them. Active Duty, the 12-horse, is my second choice. Should be better in the second start off with a layoff. Does have a maintenance workout between races to keep that saw sharp. Commander's Coin, the 1-horse, should be closing and runs the longest race of his early career and a big price. And look at that simulation odd differential right there, Terry. And then Indy Charge is one of, I think, 2 pure maiden special weight droppers. Has the most early speed, which will be added to today against softer company. does have a bullet workout between races. The 2's going to get to the lead. He's going to try to stay there and go whoop all the way around the track. I'm going to do 10 to win and place on the 3. $2 exacta box with the 3 over the 1, 2, 5, 9, and 12. And then $5 exacta box, 3 and 12. Not really overly confident in any race betting-wise today. As promised, here are our full picks for today at Keeneland. Race number 4 won the 4-horse one. Race number 2, I think the 3-horse won. So we're slowly working our way across our picks there, Terry. Here's what we have for the rest of today. Again, tomorrow we'll do Belmont at the Big A. Friday, Ascot over in England. And we'll probably be back on Tuesday, probably off Monday, as Terry and I have a couple of things to do. Unfortunately, right? Sometimes our things take us away. I know you're looking forward to a little bit of time off because you'll be gone for most of the early part of next week.
Yes.
All right. Well, any final thoughts from you before we spend our last day in a while with Terry tomorrow?
Well, just stay safe today, and whatever you're trying to do today, I hope it works out for you. And give your loved ones a hug and kiss, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Indeed. Well, no matter what you're doing on this hump day, thank you for sharing it with us, Terry Hay and myself, on this day. We certainly appreciate your time. We know there's only 24 hours in a day, the most precious commodity we all have, and it's finite. So we both are very honored that you spend that time with us. And we also hope that no matter what you're doing today, chasing your life goals, you got a day off, you're just relaxing. We certainly hope you have God's blessings, God's favor. Every single thing that you do between the time we meet again tomorrow ends up in our favorite place, Mr. Terry, and that place can only be one place. That place is
the winner's circle.
Yes. Well, hopefully we'll see you in the winner's circle tomorrow for Belmont and the Big A. Until then, happy hump day.